15 years ago, cell phones were used almost exclusively to make phone calls. 10 years ago, text messaging was common practice. Today, people use their phones to check their email, go on the internet, and it can even tell us our exact location and navigate us to a friend's house. My name is Mark Zucchelli. I'm an IST student at Penn State. Over the next several minutes, my team and I, Philip Morano, Edward Morgan, and Abdul Nasser Ramal, will be discussing the phenomenon of GPS on smartphones. We hope you enjoy.
The Global Positioning System, or GPS, is a network of 24 satellites orbiting the Earth. It is used to help people and devices determine exactly where they are in the world. GPS was originally intended for the military. The navigation industry was revolutionized when it was opened up for civilian use. In this example, a person's smartphone connects with multiple GPS satellites as he is driving. By calculating the time it takes for the satellite signal to travel from the satellite to the user's GPS-enabled phone, the receiver can determine exactly how far away the satellite is. This must happen with at least 3 satellites. Next, the GPS receiver, knowing where the satellites are in their orbit, can now use a mathematical formula to triangulate its exact position in latitude, longitude, and altitude. Map data is now required in order to calculate driving directions. Because the satellite signals are based on line of sight, finding connections in urban environments can be difficult when tall buildings stand between the satellite and the user's GPS receiver. Many satellites should be available overhead to compensate for these scenarios. When one of the 3 required satellites is unavailable, another can be used. The history of GPS and cell phones begins in 1991 in Orlando, Florida. Travtech, a system that was installed into Oldsmobiles, incorporated a GPS guidance system with real-time traffic information, local information, and a cellular telephone service. Travtech was eventually deployed as OnStar and offered in many GM vehicles. The first device that we would recognize as a GPS phone is likely the Garmin NavTalk, which was introduced in 1998. The NavTalk combined a basic cell phone with the features found in many of Garmin's existing navigation products. In 1996, the Federal Communications Commission hastened the adoption of GPS technology in cell phones with their Enhanced 911, or E911, mandate. E911 requires that cell phone providers be able to provide the location of a cell phone within a 125-foot radius to local public safety officials. From 2001 on, wireless service providers continued to roll out E911 services across the country, and a greater percentage of handsets in use became GPS capable. The first software and service to utilize the new capabilities of handsets was GoToMedia, which provided a mobile entertainment guide to AT&T's wireless subscribers and sold location-specific advertising to businesses. In 2002, Telenav teamed up with Nextel to provide customers with a real-time mobile navigation system that ran on Motorola's i88S, the first phone with an integrated GPS receiver that made information available to developers. In 2007, Nokia introduced the N95, which combined an advanced GPS receiver with software that could provide spoken turn-by-turn directions, amongst many other functions. The N95 was the first integrated GPS navigation phone in the US. The pros. What are some of the important positive contributions of smartphones? Transformative technology. The GPS radio in smartphones can be used in a multitude of ways, some being driving directions, flight navigation for private pilots, geocaching, and even determining pace and mileage for athletic purposes. The built-in accelerometer measures the proper acceleration of the device. That being said, there are a lot of applications which utilize this device, such as games, which require movement or as a level to simply hang up some pictures. Voice recognition. A lot of smartphones have voice recognition software preloaded, which can be used when texting or composing an email, speak to text, or for simply executing a command to call a specific contact or to find a particular location when utilizing the turn-by-turn navigation. Productivity. Employers who provide smartphones tend to increase their employees' productivity by allowing them to communicate and address issues as they're received while on the go. Apps. Businesses and developers alike can profit largely by designing quality applications that run on smartphones, which can either effectively run their business or address everyday life issues. The cons. What are some of the potential hazards to using smartphones? Health dependencies. While there are many positive contributions from smartphones, there are also many negative ones, such as an increased exposure to radiation, which is generated from the cellular radio. Also, eye strain and an increased dependency on Google and spell check applications to find your mistakes. Lastly, smartphones and the ever so popular apps they have a tendency to distract people from what used to be typical social activities, that is Facebook, Twitter, or Foursquare. Privacy and security issues. Privacy is one of the largest issues with smartphones. Nowadays, many apps utilize the GPS radio to track your whereabouts for best results while using the app. Also, it is possible to remotely activate both the camera and microphone to record you surreptitiously. Performance issues. One of the largest issues with performance on smartphones can be the ability for the phone to manage power as efficiently as possible, since there are apps that activate the built-in radios while they are in use. Like any other digital device or computer, all have operating systems which can contain stale code or bugs, and can also be susceptible to viruses and malware, just as computers are, which can lead to password hacks and your information being stolen.
The smartphone for the education, for the future, there's a lot of things we can do. In the future, like we can use, we can take note. We have the ability from the smartphone connected to the printer, and the availability from the centralized screen wirelessly can send a document to the smartphone. Yes, we hope this will be in the future. And the other things we can use the future, like we can. It can track you, if you go somewhere, if you get lost or something, or if you like. Also, we can convey, you can transfer the the image, where you are, or like you're online, you're alive. It's like you're broadcasting. And the most problem, what comes with the side effect for the smartphone is it may affect the skin because the heat, and also if you, for some reason, condition. Like you have heart problem, pacemaker also it does affect, and also the other things, the radiation. If you use that for more than 50 minutes, can affect the brain cells. And the other things also, we can use GPS application like guide to gas station, guide to hospital in case of emergency, guide to any destination. If you got lost, it gives you exactly what you are. And thank you.
We've covered many things over the past several minutes. We've looked at how GPS works and some of its applications on smartphones. For example, it can be used for driving navigation. It can also be used to track athletic performance. This is especially useful for runners and bikers. We've had a look into the history, who uses it, so what's in store for the future. That's all. Thanks for watching.